Today on Newswatch, the president says no nuclear deal with Iran now could mean war later. Hear why some U.S. and Israeli leaders aren't buying it. Plus, GOP presidential hopefuls are gearing up for the first debate in the Buckeye State. We're bringing you behind the scenes and a look from Cleveland.
It was such a great thing to be able to breathe again. Oh, you just don't know how much you appreciate breathing until you don't have it anymore.
This man is a walking miracle. See why and how he's breathing easier these days. Thanks so much for joining us for CBN Newswatch. I'm Efrem Graham. President Obama is comparing his nuclear deal with Iran to strong Cold War diplomacy, and he's comparing Republicans to Iranian hardliners. Ardea Hurd is on this story.
The president went to American University to push his arms deal with Iran. It was a speech filled with comparisons. He compared himself to JFK and wasn't shy about trumpeting his accomplishment.
This is the strongest non-proliferation agreement ever negotiated.
Obama also compared those who are against the agreement to politicians who pushed for the 2003 invasion of Iraq. And he compared Republicans to the Iranian hardliners.
In fact, it's those hardliners who are most comfortable with the status quo. It's those hardliners chanting death to America who've been most opposed to the deal. They're making common cause with the Republican caucus.
The president warned that if Congress blocks the deal next month, it will put the U.S. on the path to some form of war. But Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Bob Corker said that's not true.
Everyone in the United States knows that this president is not going to carry out military action against Iran. Iran knows that.
Meanwhile, the Washington Post says the deal is hemorrhaging support. A new poll shows the public against the agreement by a 2-to-1 margin, and it's reported 3 Jewish Democrats in the House are now against it. Critics have a lot not to like: the lack of proper inspections, the secret side deals, and the danger to Israel. Democratic lawmakers may get an earful from constituents during their August recess before Congress votes on the deal in September. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
We're learning more about the man behind Wednesday's shooting at a Nashville, Tennessee movie theater. Police say 29-year-old Vicente Montano was from the Nashville area, and he had a history of arrest and commitments for mental health problems over the years. Officers shot and killed him as he raced from the back door of the theater into the parking lot. Police say Montano used pepper spray, a hatchet, and an airsoft pistol that looked real to threaten people watching the film Mad Max inside the theater early in the afternoon.
We heard screams and then a shot. And then a little while after that, Metro Police came in and they escorted us out.
The bomb squad detonated the suspect's backpack and found that it contained a hoax device. His motive remains a mystery. The FBI has now joined the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email scandal. Clinton exclusively used a personal email server operated from her home to conduct government business while she was Secretary of State. Federal investigators are trying to figure out if Clinton securely stored those emails. The FBI is especially concerned about a thumb drive containing copies of Clinton's work emails because her attorney has that drive. The Inspector General of the U.S. intelligence community alerted the FBI last month. A Clinton campaign spokesman says the inspector is not accusing Clinton of wrongdoing, but the inspector has found that she did send emails with sensitive information, saying in a statement, "This classified information should never have been transmitted via an unclassified personal system." The first GOP presidential debate is set for tonight in Cleveland, Ohio. There will actually be 2 debates, a total of 17 candidates, and a whole lot of verbal pushing and shoving. CBN's chief political correspondent David Brody leads our team coverage from Cleveland.
Well, maybe it's appropriate that the first GOP presidential debate is right here in Cleveland, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's because come Thursday night, boy, oh boy, there sure is going to be a lot of rock and roll on that stage. The opening act, 7 candidates who polled the lowest, and then it's on to the main event, the top 10 candidates, with Donald Trump literally in the middle of the stage since he's the current frontrunner. Now watch for him to throw a few verbal grenades and for others to respond in kind. Some candidates are already in Cleveland early. Carly Fiorina doing some national radio interviews, and Marco Rubio is holding town hall meetings to rev up his supporters.
When I'm president of the United States, we will reduce taxes on businesses big and small so they can compete and jobs will stay in America.
So as the candidates get set for the 2016 presidential election, so does the Republican Party. For more on that part of the story, we head crosstown here in Cleveland to my CBN colleague, Abigail Robertson.
David, we're here at the Renaissance Hotel where the Republican National Committee is holding its summer meeting. This is where they begin to shape the party's platform for the 2016 election. One issue on the agenda, Planned Parenthood and those gruesome undercover videos revealing how doctors discuss selling fetal tissue. I sat down with RNC member Ellen Barossi, who wants to stop government funding of state universities that have purchased fetal tissue for testing purposes.
The RNC is very responsive to the grassroots. We really care about the people in our home states, and what they are telling us loud and clear is that Planned Parenthood has to be defunded.
As for tonight's debate, there's no doubt candidates will be pressed on their stance of funding Planned Parenthood and how far they're willing to go to fight to end it. Abigail Robertson, CBN News, Cleveland, Ohio.
And both David and Abby will be live tweeting during that debate using the hashtag CBN2016. David's Twitter handle is @TheBrodyFile and Abby's is @ABB_RobertsCBN. There is confusion and anger after Malaysia's prime minister claimed the plane wreckage found on an island in the Indian Ocean last week is from the missing Flight 370. French authorities who are doing tests on the part say they can't confirm that. Yet Australian and U.S. officials agree they can't be absolutely certain without more tests as well. Families of the passengers on the missing airliner are furious over the conflicting reports. They've been waiting for any information about their missing loved ones for more than 500 days. Thailand authorities have arrested an American missionary for smuggling North Koreans into the country. A Thai newspaper reports the arrest was made after they crossed the border illegally from Laos. The missionary was charged with aiding them against the law. Immigration police are holding the North Koreans who appear to have relatives in South Korea. If Seoul gives them entrance, they may not be deported to North Korea. Good news in the story we've been following from Sudan. The government in Khartoum has released the 2 South Sudanese pastors from prison. Pastor Michael and Pastor Peter face possible death sentences for charges of crimes against national security. Attorneys say the men were falsely accused. The case sparked an international outcry, pressuring the Sudanese government. Wednesday, a judge convicted the men of a lesser charge and set them free on time served. Pastor Peter said, quote, "We are very happy now we are free because of your prayers. Thank you for all that you have done for us. God heard your prayers and we are free." Still to come, Tina Campbell is best known as half of the gospel duo Mary Mary, but today she's getting real about her personal life when she joins us in Studio 5. From suicidal thoughts to marriage problems, our exclusive interview when we return. And welcome back to CBN News Watch. We've come upstairs to Studio 5 to bring you a new segment we're calling Studio 5. It's our chance to bring you up close and personal to newsmakers and industry leaders. Today we sit down with Tina Campbell.
If I get in the way, I'm gonna mess it up, so I tell them day and night.
Tina Campbell is a reality TV star and half of the award-winning gospel duo Mary Mary. Her most unforgettable storyline and her latest music project, titled It's Personal, focus a lot on love. Do you think there's a shortage of love in the Christian community?
I think there's absolutely a shortage of love in the Christian community, and I hate to actually say that because I'm a part of the Christian community. I mean, I love us, you know, but we got some issues. And, you know, if you come in to where we are and you're different from us, we don't exactly receive you. Let some woman come off the streets and she looked like she just got off the block from servicing gentlemen, and let her walk into the church. The first thing we do is turn our nose up. Or someone who looks like they're some kind of thug or quote unquote lowlife. Do we exactly embrace them, or do we look at them like they don't belong here? And everybody belongs here. We all belong. And I think, you know, if we change the way that we look at people and understand that we are all God's children, and if Jesus didn't love us, we wouldn't be connected to him, because we certainly didn't earn it. We fail him, we get it wrong regularly.
Love gone wrong is a personal story for Campbell.
You deceived me and you betrayed me and you stuck around.
Fans watched the real-life tale of her husband's infidelity play out on television.
Stole my life away from me. I'm angry.
When you Google the name Tina Campbell today, the headline reads, "I wanted to kill my husband and I wanted to die." But some would say that Christians shouldn't be talking about wanting to commit suicide. How would you respond to that?
I would respond that a Christian with an unrenewed mind will absolutely become suicidal. My mind was not renewed. When devastation hit me, I realized that I was more of a Christian in theory than in reality. Because if you are with Christ, you are strong because you have the strength of the Almighty God inside of you. The truth is, I was more of a Christian in theory. My eyes was on all of the things in life, not on the Christ that I serve. And so when life happened, when life devastated me, because my eyes were not fully on Jesus at all times, the things around me became so big and so overwhelming that I felt small and incapable of handling it. So I thought that I can't handle this, so I may as well leave. I'm just a failure and a loser in life, so what am I still here for? That's how I felt, because my mind was not renewed. But when I opened up the Bible and renewed my mind, I understood that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, that God will not put more on me that I could bear, that all things will work together for my good. And now I'm living proof, because I didn't listen to the devil, you know what I mean, and do what he told me to do, kill yourself, kill everybody, because I continued to fight and press in. It was hard, but I continued to press in. I am now living proof that everything that is devastating in your life, God will find a way to use it for your good. And my life is living proof of that 2 years later, and I've got a great story to tell out of devastation, and the devastation is what I know built the confidence that I have in God. I'm totally grateful for my devastation, because it showed me how to put my eyes on God. So, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It's a story of moving from tragedy to triumph, and it can be found in the pages of her book titled, "I Need a Day to Pray." And how are you and your husband today?
My husband and I are amazing. My husband is my best friend. He is the most incredible man that I know. I watched him transform. He watched me transform. We just kind of watched God make something amazing out of our mess. And so we just spend our lives loving each other and talking about Jesus all day long. That's kind of our lives now, and we love it. It's amazing.
You know, I know music had to help you get through those tough times. So what were you listening to during that stressful time?
During my tough times, I was listening to unreleased Mary Mary music. Unreleased Mary Mary music. You know, I went through a phase like, does Mary Mary even work? All this stuff we've been singing, does it even work? And a lot of Mary Mary music was able to encourage me, but especially the songs that are not released as of yet. Needless to say, I'm looking forward to getting back to my sister after I finish with, you know, what God has me doing by myself, to sing those songs, because they carried me through until I wrote my own songs to encourage me and carry me through. Tasha Cobbs, Jonathan McReynolds, Tamala Mann, you know, and now Bethel and Hillsong, you know, they all encourage me and lift me and help me to remember that, you know, don't put your eyes on the things around you. Put your eyes up there and everything will turn out a lot better.
And that brings me to my last question. You have a solo project, your sister has a solo project, so everybody wants to know, what does this mean for Mary Mary?
My sister did a solo project. My sister always aspired to have a solo career. Since she was a kid, Erica wanted to do this. I enjoyed music, but I didn't necessarily see myself doing this, and I did not want a solo career. But when God gave me a story to tell, and he gave me music to sing in the middle of my devastation as part of my own deliverance, I knew that the purpose was to give that to everybody. So now I'm solo. I'm not competing with my sister and trying to keep up with anything she's done, because she's done everything. She's won every award. She's doing really, really good. And so I'm just aspiring to to celebrate her and to be the best of me and tell the story of what God has done, because he's done some pretty amazing things in my life. So you got two people talking about it separately, and then we'll come together and do it at some point in time.
Tina Campbell, thank you. Up next, new hope for tens of thousands of people who need lung transplants, how this doctor came up with a new source of donors. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the first prescription drug made using 3D printing. The drug is called Spritum. It is a dissolvable tablet that treats adults and children having seizures. The company that created the drug say that it dissolves faster than traditional medication. Researchers say they plan to develop other medications using 3D printing in the coming years. When you die, the organs in your body die as well. They start to deteriorate within minutes after the blood stops circulating through your body. But there is one exception, your lungs. They live on for hours, and that fact is bringing hope to the tens of thousands of people who need lung transplants. Lori Johnson brings us that story.
David Russell beat the odds, becoming one of only 1,600 people nationwide to get a new set of lungs. Only 15% of donated lungs are healthy enough for transplant.
It was such a great thing to be able to breathe again. Oh, you just don't know how much you appreciate breathing until you don't have it anymore. Oh, it was great.
The shortage of available lungs meant David would likely die while waiting for them.
I said, Lord, what I want to do is stay. I want to be with my family. I'd like to see some grandchildren. But if you want to take me, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. My life's in your hands, and it's all up to you.
Most people don't realize the body parts used for transplants come from hospital patients who are brain dead and on life support. This works well for most organs like hearts and livers, but lungs are usually too damaged to be transplanted.
Those prolonged hospital stays lead to pneumonia and other complications.
At the time of their brain death, they may have vomited or aspirated, and that's also another issue that we have to worry about as well. Lungs are very finicky when it comes to evaluating them for transplants. One thing that we have to worry about with lungs is that there are not enough. There are not enough organs out there for people who actually need them.
Bothered by this lung shortage, Dr. Thomas Egan came up with a way to tap into a new source. Donors who die suddenly, such as in the emergency room or at home. In other words, people who aren't on life support.
Individuals who die suddenly, while this is a really tragic event and a obviously very upsetting for next of kin, those lungs were perfectly normal up until the time of sudden death. They weren't subjected to the inflammatory processes of brain death.
Most of our organs die within minutes of being deprived of oxygen-rich blood, but lungs have an oxygen reserve due to the air left inside them.
They live for hours after death, and lungs can be recovered and safely transplanted, even if they're recovered after sudden death.
Wake County EMS partners with Dr. Egan to recover lungs from people who die on one of their calls and whose family consents.
They've just performed this resuscitation attempt in their home, and they were unsuccessful. And now we want to talk to them about organ donation, and that's a very difficult conversation. We don't want to miss the opportunity to ensure that the family realizes that our first goal was to make sure that they were resuscitated. So we don't want to blur those lines.
EMS workers pump more air into the lungs than transport the body to UNC. Then Dr. Egan uses a procedure called ex vivo lung perfusion to keep the lungs alive while examining them to make sure they're healthy enough for transplant.
And so down the road, it's quite possible that this new donor source, in addition to being much more plentiful than brain-dead organ donors, the lungs from these new donors might in fact turn out to be better than the lungs we're currently transplanting.
That way, there will be more people like David who know what it's like to breathe free and look forward to a long life. Lori Johnson, CBN News, Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Wow, amazing medical science. Stay with us. We'll be right back. CBN has dedicated its 8,000th bore well in India. Over the past 17 years, these wells have transformed the lives of nearly 3 million people. Many village women and children had to walk 3 to 4 miles to get water that was often contaminated and caused them to get sick. But now they have access to safe, clean drinking water. Having the wells allows local pastors and ministers to share the gospel with the village. You can find out more about Operation Blessing and CBN by going to its website, cbn.com/international. We have a note of gratitude to pass along here on what we like to call Thankful Thursday. A place of gratitude really positions you to receive God's best, and not only that, it allows you to really appreciate the beauty in His creation. So today, let's start with this simple prayer. We thank you, God, for the very air we inhale and exhale on our own strength, because there are so many people who don't have the ability. Simply having that breath means we are alive another day to try even harder to fulfill His plan and purpose for our lives. With that, make this day, a day you've never seen before, a Thankful Thursday. And that's going to do it for this edition of CBN News Watch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. See you here tomorrow.